BenFlyingRetro, and I'm embarking on a quest to purchase every classic GI Joe comic from the original 80s and 90s Marvel run.
Warning.
Hunting down individual issues from every corner of the globe in whatever order the universe decides to give me. Join me and my pal Steve every week as we discuss my latest find. Welcome to Chasing Joe. Chasing Joe. It's episode 16 of Chasing Joe! Imperial troops have entered the base! Imperial troops have entered the base! S-Jubs! It is 20...
I can't get around you, I get around the fucking...
Oh, yes! What is this, an Empire Strikes Back podcast? No, it's a Chasing Joe podcast. It's 2025. What's going on, S-Jubs?
I'm on vacation, Benjamin. I'm up the coast with the family. Vacay, baby. Nothing but beach, sun, sand, and many beers.
Oh, really?
Though I'm drinking a soft drink right now because old man, it's tired. It's
Dude, have you got new toys to play with? What's going on?
I've once again pilfered the United Kingdom of one of your very fine Sky Strikers with the Action Force stickering. Amazing.
What?
Didn't bring it on vacation with me, I'm afraid. I'm a bit too precious about it.
Maybe in 2025, you have got to relax and chill out with being so precious. I don't know if you do rezos.
I have my played with toys, and I don't mind them getting down and dirty in the sand and in the surf. And my childhood bug is one of them. But you have to see this Sky Striker to believe it, Ben. This thing must have lived entirely on a shelf, and whoever put the stickers on did them with such mathematical precision. It's amazing. And then there are all the Action Force stickers, which are so good. The blue star instead of the the US Air Force roundels, that sort of thing.
Yeah, the way you talk about Action Force is like you really into that. Like, what do you prefer?
Look,
is it
purely objectively, the US release stickers for the Sky Striker are, I mean, if you have them in good condition, good for you. You're one of the 1%ers, because early on in the GI Joe run, the stickers, the adhesive wasn't good. It dries, it cracks off, it gets yellowed, dirt gets underneath it. By the time the Sky Striker was being produced for the UK market, the sticker quality had been improved, and these ones are spectacular. They did. So it's squeaky clean, it's beautiful. I got it for a song because it was missing its tail fins, or vertical stabilizers. But fortunately, a buddy from the States, Ryan Sweeney, hooked me up. So it is schmick, as the Aussies
when you're
would say.
Applying your decals and your stickers, I wouldn't have known this as a kid, but if you don't get that corner down, if you don't get a complete seal, and anything can get in there, it's over. Well, it's not instantly over, but it will be.
Whoever did the due diligence on this particular Sky Striker did a fabulous job. And I might be a lifetime GI Joe collector, but this is my very first vintage Sky Striker. Can you believe that?
I can, because they're pricey, they're rare, scarce, and is it just a pristine plastic white?
Oh, so nice. No yellowing, because it came from blighty, piss poor weather. No one played with that toy outside. And look, you say that it's an early toy, but I've been to the United States. I've been to a Joe convention. I've seen
this guy's traveled.
Sky Strikers. I've seen Sky Strikers in gigantic Ziploc baggies, rows and rows of them on a pegboard, and it's just mind blowing to see that. But they're all in pretty rough shape. They'll still set you back $100, but this one, what a find for only 40 quid.
Yeah,
came with two flints. Like, send in the ultimate team. Just have Flint in the front seat and the back seat.
Dude,
and
well,
those
you
Flints,
better...
like, they're gold. They're epaulets. They're like, all the gold details are so, like, it's nothing's rubbed off on these guys. It's insane. What a lucky boy am I? Merry Christmas. What did you get?
I show him in the next episode, but my Flint is so played with. Like, there's almost no paint app left. He is, out of every figure I own, in the worst and best shape. Like, he's together, but my God, I don't have another Joe figure that looks anything like this dude. It's crazy. I wouldn't even know what a mint Flint looks like. I bet it's wild. Like, in terms of, like, you know, the detail gold and everything. Oh, yeah.
Shoulder pauldrons. He's got pips. They're gold. It's like... First time I saw that, I was like, what? This is not a cheap figure. He's got detail, man.
Lucky boy. I'm actually, look, I don't know if this is a clue, but I've got Flint's squeeze right here. Yeah. Look at that
and
lippy.
She is not in played with condition.
No, she did a lot of watching. Whoa, Flint, be careful out there, buddy. Right.
Well, look, at least you bought her. I mean... Female figures, unfortunately, that's just a fact of life. They are.
I know. I don't have a Scarlet. I did get a Scarlet. Jeez.
What's he got?
I was about to say. No, look, the postman hasn't been, and I think we all know what that means. If he hasn't been, it's a special missions episode, ladies and gentlemen,
or a donation. Could have gone either way. Oh, he's wrapped it festively. Could it be? Could it be a snow-based mission? Don't disappoint me, Ben.
Well, Lady J's in there.
Okay, Lady J.
This is my
feeling it's going to be
16th Joe book in this quest, and it is Special Missions issue 22, and that came out in, what do my notes say, 1989, with a June cover date slapped on its gizzards. Actually came out in Feb, and it's got your all-time favorite character on the front. Is that right?
I would qualify that ever so slightly, Ben. He's not my all-time favorite character. He's my all-time favorite action fig. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any strong feeling necessarily towards the Detroit SWAT. I'm sure they're badasses, but like
he's so Detroit based.
He is Detroit based.
Yeah, do you know what, man? Are we a little bit disappointed by his file card? I brought up his file card for this show, and I didn't get what I wanted from it. Like, okay, yeah, he's obviously SWAT. He literally just is a SWAT dude. He's from Detroit. He likes to be in the choir a little bit, and that's kind of all I got.
Yeah.
I just
don't get much of a sense of the man.
It wasn't that big.
He does get some high praise in the fact that he was the youngest member of his SWAT team, or he got some kind of distinction at a very early stage. Like he set some kind of record. That's why GI Joe headhunted
He's the
him.
door kicker.
Yeah.
Breach.
Though I like to think of him as a bit of an all-rounder, and this book will demonstrate that. He kind of is stealing hit and runs gig, if I'm remembering correctly.
Is it as simple as, for the Joes, they go around and they cherry pick the top members of each of these like fields, each of these people that have specialities? I feel like it's a bit like when you get these rich football teams and they have all this cash, and then they just have a load of individuals, no team.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know?
Well, I'm pretty sure, like what we don't see with GI Joe, we just see the kind of the action, but I'm sure they spend a lot of time doing drills, a lot of times doing like small team training exercises, so that a guy like Shockwave, I mean, he's absolutely like a honed instrument. him and his team. Like you put him into a hostage situation on a plane or in a building or in a farmhouse, and they know exactly what to do and where to go. And
Yeah,
like we don't see that. Like no Joe book deals with, like we've seen training sequences, or sorry, like the graduation sequences. I remember there's a book called Weeding Out, which I read not too long ago. It's got like Lightfoot, Budo, Repeater, those guys kind of dealing with Duke and his brutal training regimen.
Okay.
And we see that, but we don't see them like doing like a hostage situation just with dummies, you know, like a kill box or kill room.
Yeah, I just
But I'm
don't
sure they
know
do that.
in the cafeteria if Shockwave sat down and he's next to Shipwreck. I don't know what they're going to talk about. Maybe nothing, you know? Or
Well, this is that uneasy intersection between reality and what you'd expect a counter-terrorist team to be doing, like training very closely together, and the kind of superhero book that we tend to want GI Joe to be, more fantastical, that these guys are just super soldiers that can kind of work together like the Avengers.
I don't know why. This frustrates me, man. Why do people... You wouldn't know this, but people using sellotape. It's just a nightmare.
Get rid of
You
it.
can't... Wait a minute. This is what you got to use. Scotch tape.
Okay.
That's what you should use with comic books, because this is just a nightmare. It tears through the bag. Oh, hang on. Oof. Christ, these are actually quite musty, these ones. Jeez.
A vintage book.
Yeah, whoa, vintage. It smells like a deep, full-bodied red wine. It's like,
That's nice.
yeah, I used to like red, but crikey, that's deep. It's
Hey, Ben, did you double zap your zits?
I know. Look, this is a mintier dish with some acne-based tips on the back. Shockwave
It
just coming
astounds me.
through the window there.
Like,
Lovely.
there's a big push for acne medication in these books. And I seem to recall it was a huge thing as a teen. I mean, obviously it was. Self-esteem is in the toilet if you got bad skin. But
Yeah.
man, did they make a lot of dollars out of us.
I know. I think the best thing
All
is just
these
to wash your
muties.
face, isn't it? And just leave it.
Yeah,
I don't
drink
know.
lots of water. And accept the fact that puberty is an internal process. Like putting a fucking medicated pad on your nose is not going to put that zit like back in.
Yeah. I mean, look, you're having the best day of your life. You sat down reading Special Missions, so just let puberty take care of itself, Mr.
Yeah.
Someone in 1989.
I'm curious, Ben. Did you have bad skin? I did.
I didn't. I caught a break there because I had some friends that went through like hell. I always found that a little bit of sun helped. So if you were outdoorsy,
Sure.
sort of the
All
sun.
the old wives' tales.
I suppose it sort of dries out your skin a bit. Maybe I don't know, but I always felt like being out and in the sun sort of helped my skin short term. Probably not long term, kids. But look,
Use sunscreen.
who's drawing this cover?
Oh, isn't this a Herb Trimpe? Gosh, now
Let's
you got
find
me
out.
wondering. You're not going to find it
So
there.
oh no, they don't. Isn't that crazy that back then they wouldn't list the cover artist? They obviously sorted that out. So we've got Dave Cockrum on pencils.
Oh, okay. So Trimpe stepped off by this point. Okay. Or he was probably
Andy-
focusing on...
Andy Majinski on inks, and that is like these pages, dude. Look at the vibrancy. Like you feel like you're reading something from the 50s. Really, like such a sort of, I don't know, what is that style? Well, they actually reference it in the book. Where does he say it? He says they all look like something from a commercial. Oh, an apple pie commercial.
Apple High commercial.
And that
Well, let's
kind
do
of
a little.
nails it. But yeah, you want a synopsis.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a bash. A trio of terrorists kill 17 people at an airport and then retreat into a Iowa farmhouse, take hostages, and await their extraction. Meanwhile, in the tree line, you've got the FBI and GI Joe. FBI is going to go in guns blazing. GI Joe say, hang on, let's try and finesse this one first. So Chuckles, Lady J, Shockwave, and Hit and Run go in, but they have an interesting split-second decision to make because not all is as it seems. No one knows who are the terrorists and who are the hostages. How does it play out?
Great setup. Great setup.
I had this as a childhood book.
Did you? It's a lovely little issue. Very sort of filmic, and I'm thinking of Die Hard a little bit with the FBI guys.
Yeah, their play is like brutal. It's like we don't care about the hostages. They want a nice, quick sort of conclusion to the situation. Like, hostages don't mean a thing to a bureaucrat. Okay, definitely towing the company line. But we've got the cover artist details. It was once again Dave Cockrum, with Bob McLeod coloring, I suppose, inking and coloring, maybe.
Yeah. Also, so wait, 1989 February. When was Shockwave's toy release, and when was his first comic release? This isn't it, is it?
So Hit and Run. This wouldn't be his first comic appearance, no.
No.
But he was released in 1988. He was on the cover of the Rolling Thunder issue.
Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say, nice to see him get a cover here.
But he definitely was in special missions before this.
Yeah. Well, he's so like ripe for special missions, I think.
Yep.
You know?
And ripe for these like non-Cobra hostage situation stories. I mean, this isn't something that Cobra would do. We don't
to what
see
end?
These. Yeah. You need disposable baddies.
Do you know what this made me think of? I had it on the Xbox. I played it intensely for like a month. It was called Rainbow Six.
Rainbow Six? Sure. Yeah. I played it on the PlayStation. You kind of would plan your two-man team down to the finest detail. Yeah, the finest detail.
There's 50 ways to enter this like restaurant or hotel, whatever it would be. Really fun. Like quite kind of like slow and methodical, and it was just very much like, right, we go again. Like very nuanced.
Off the back of that game, I read Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, and let me just say that is one hell of a thick book. If you are to crush a cockroach with it, that cockroach will stay crushed. But great at just sort of detailing how the nuts and bolts of a counter-terrorist or like hostage situation team would operate. Very G.I. Joe. If G.I. Joe had a very kind of focused mission parameter, is great. I mean, you know that stuff that I was talking about earlier about having constant training. That I get from Rainbow Six. Like they had a Bravo team and an Alpha team, and when the one was like ready for action, they weren't training intensely, and then they'd rotate. So whichever team was kind of ready to deal with a situation around the globe, they would kind of be at rest, and the other team would be going into like burnt out husks of vehicles and doing the dummy thing.
Yeah. I think this was also another Tom Clancy video game, Siphon Filter. I'm sure there was a book of that.
that was
that not Tom Clancy?
No, but I suppose it drew from Clancy stuff. I mean, ironically, the big bad in the Rainbow Six book, they're environmentalists who develop a Ebola virus strain that they plan on dispersing to the world by virtue of the Sydney Olympics.
Wow.
They have everyone go back to their home countries, get everyone else sick, and then they would kind of reclaim the Earth. Or let the Earth reclaim itself. So Rainbow Six is out there.
Well, this is
double tapping these suckers to the head, man.
Special missions Rainbow Six. For sure it is that. I just realised that I forgot to give us a little update on the running total. Let's just catch up now. So at episode 16, the running total is £81.24, equating to $102. So that's 16 books, including 4 donations. So yeah, these special missions coming in at £1.60 a pop.
Beautiful.
Still
Bringing
probably the best deal that I'm going to get on this journey, I'd imagine. I see them all the time on eBay. 8, 9 quid, 10 quid each. Oh my God, this book is minty fresh. I should be sending this away to get it slabbed. No, I shouldn't.
It don't smell so good.
Yeah, so look, what is there any... Do you think this is a good team here we've got 4 Joes, no rhyme or reason. I'm happy with the team. I tell you what, I also want that truck.
Rhyme and reason.
I want that truck.
There's definitely rhyme and reason.
You've got rhyme and reasons?
You say there's no rhyme and reason to
to their relationship with each other.
Oh.
Individually, they're I guess, but yeah.
Are you talking about in canon relation to one another? Because I suppose Hit and Run and Shockwave entered the team at the same time. Maybe they were like, hey bro.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, this is certainly a vehicle for Shockwave. This is right in his wheelhouse.
Chuckles and Lady J, because Chuckles and Lady J are sort of intelligence operatives, they get a lot of time in the pages of special missions together. They seem like a natural fit for one another. I don't think Flint and Lady J are a thing. Like, within the pages of special missions, it's often Chuckles, Lady J. Because both are your Mission Impossible cast. You know, they both are actors and face changes and mimes, and, you know, they can kind of fill roles. So it's a good male-female duo. And we see it in this book. I think Lady J goes undercover because the FBI would never send a woman. That's the rationale.
Yeah.
She's the one knocking on the front door and saying, hi, would you like to buy whatever it is? Tupperware.
Avon lady.
Yes, basically.
Yeah. I really, dude, we should get that vehicle, that plumbing, Moran van. That would be a great Joe vehicle. Special missions. Oh, love that.
Playmobil was my easiest port of call for, like, civilian vans. My brother had a TV van. It was blue and white. It was this beautiful two-tone thing. And it's very rare that you find a Playmobil vehicle that can accommodate a GI Joe, but this one could. Like, you could get the perfect L bend from their articulation to sit them down in the cab. So it's seated two up front.
Cross-pollinated.
Buddy, this book is the reason why I cross-pollinated, because I didn't have any G.I. Joe vehicles in my motor pool that looked like this van.
No.
Playmobil provided the answer.
Oh, did you, like, scrawl Moran on the side?
No, but I did used to have, like, Shockwave in the back.
Yes.
Scoping out targets as they do a pass. I can only do one pass, otherwise the baddies would get suspicious. Now, may I just say, at this point, this depiction of Hit and Run in his kind of Arctic duds, sort of a white jumpsuit, had me wondering, because I knew version 1 was the green camo. I had that guy. I was also aware of the Tiger Force version because I had the catalogs. But I thought to myself, there's got to be this white Arctic version somewhere. Why am I not seeing it?
You wanted it.
I'm gonna have to buy Blizzard and take Hit and Run's head off and stick it in there.
Yeah, I quite like. So Shockwave's the only one in his regular sort of fatigues. Although, why do they never
Chuckles
put in?
And Lady J also have Chuckles and.
So, okay, what's the best thing about this fig, dude? In terms of paint apps, what is the best thing? I'll tell you the best thing. It's the splashes and flicks of yellow. Subtle at first, but then you get close and you're like, this dude has got like yellow all over him. It's so awesome. I don't know why. I absolutely love that detail. And unfortunately, I put him in a display cabinet in Phoenix's room, and it's not really picking up on this camera, but he is bleached to hell. It actually looks quite cool, but he's really like sun bleached in a kind of gnarly way. It's not actually picking up there at all, but trust me,
it goes a green.
It kind of goes a yellowy green.
Well, I can assure you, my childhood one is as discolored as they come.
He's a great fig, dude. My brother bought him sort of for me, but it was actually for him from a little toy shop in Fordingbridge in the New Forest. I remember the day, and this is him. Absolutely love it.
Wasn't Rollout Roll Call in Fordingbridge recently?
Yeah. Okay. So that's where that is. I don't know if
nice
that
bit of
toy shop
history
is still
then.
there. Yeah, there's some history. I always felt like his head was ever so slightly oversized, but maybe it's not. No.
And that's a
It's
thick balaclava,
ribbed.
dude.
It's ribbed for his pleasure.
Thick. Thick balaclava, and it ain't no trucker cap. It ain't no like low profile. That is a big sock of a hat.
He was a striking figure at the time. SWAT, like, that was kind of on my radar. I found it exciting.
He's better dressed than
hell.
the guys on SWAT were.
Just realised his backpack peg is in his... Oh, that's why I couldn't find his backpack.
Easy solved, my friend.
Yes, no.
Do you want to save the peg?
Well, I'm going to...
Just drill it out. Find the
Yeah,
right size bit to absolutely mince that plug without without damaging the plastic of his back screw.
I filmed myself doing that, and you can see how delicate I am with a drill. That should be
if you can go
interesting.
hand tools, like don't go power tools if you can avoid it. Like a pin vise drill.
I'll show you the drill I have, S-Jubs, after we've
Get
done
out of
this
town
show.
with your fucking jackhammer. Pneumatic.
Right. What do I want to say about this issue? Apart from I had a thoroughly good time reading it.
And it does take place in the snow, so we're on
it
brand
does.
for the festive times.
It felt pretty cozy to me, actually. My favourite panel by far, and sort of felt very, very Mission Impossible, is when Lady J is driving that wagon, what do I want to say?
Beamer.
Yeah, it's a Beamer. It's a Beamer. And
Beamer,
Hit and
baby.
Run is just on that side. He's on that door. Oh,
Core. That's some core, boy.
dude, that is so cool. This whole sequence is very exciting when they're finally doing the infiltration and Shockwave's running up. The boy sees him. Lady J's approaching the door. Hit and Run's going through the tunnel thing.
Oof.
I don't understand where that ends for him, because he says it's going to bring him out like somewhere near the kitchen, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
But we never see him... Do we just never see him in the tunnel?
No. The assumption is he's gone through.
He's gone through and he just pops out. Yeah. God, this is a vibrant book, isn't it? The colours.
For sure, man.
It's really
Considering
sort
that
of...
there's a lot of white.
Yeah.
And Shockwave, my goodness, man.
This stuff
It really
is...
brought out all the furniture, all the details.
Oh,
the
yeah.
hat looks great. The ribbing on the balaclava looks great. The glove.
Is that
They've
his breath,
skimped on-
yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
They've skimped on your favorite detail, which are the sort of the techno camo.
Yeah.
The digital camo, like the breakup, the yellow, basically, the Tetris blocks. But even so, he's a striking figure.
But out of everyone on that team, he really is taking main stage in this story in terms of total pro. Like, this is just right in his wheelhouse, man.
Yep, it's. I mean, I think I can say without any doubt, this is Shockwave's finest moment, and yet he's not the one to make the split-second decision. So the whole premise of this issue, if, dear listener, you haven't read it, is they've totally mistaken who the terrorists are and who the hostages are. And it's
Yeah.
made pretty ambiguous the whole time. Like, the terrorists are made to look very, very, well, the term, like they look like they're in a apple pie commercial comes to mind. I mean, they just absolutely are this Stepford Wives.
Yes.
They're really well made up, beautiful haircuts, lipstick, etc., doe-eyed. And, like, the man of the household has this Joker-looking grin on his face from, like, a Vietnam bullet injury.
Yeah. And also that rifle there, that M16, is it?
Yeah.
That's
It's a water pistol.
It's a super soaker.
Or what is it? There was the word that we encountered this gun in another commercial. They made that
Okay.
Tech 9.
Right.
What was it? Something Tech.
Is that blue,
Tech.
the trigger there? Or is that like a hint? Is that water?
I think that's the trigger.
Yeah,
Damn
I
it, I'm
didn't-
really blanking on the name of this. Enitech. Entech? Anyway, they look like real guns. But
Right.
they were water pistols. They
Yeah.
were kind of motorized. I think they took batteries. We didn't get them in South Africa, but I'm aware of them because of commercials in comic books advertising them.
Right. Yeah. And then, I mean, geez, Lady J, she rocks up at the door, and then she has on the card, like, you know, we're here to rescue
Play
you.
along
And
with me. We're here to
Yeah.
rescue you. You gave the card to the wrong person, sweetheart.
For sure. And she just takes some slugs, man. Center mass.
At close range from a Mac 10. I don't know, man. That should be tickets.
Lady J. But she was wearing, man, so she was okay.
Total 80s action movie trope. I got a few cracked ribs, but I'm okay.
Look at this, though. Is that Chuckles dual wielding?
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
But
love
hits
that. He's
nothing.
gone all wasn't it John Woo? He just made
Yeah.
all those films in like the early 2000s. It was just dual wielding. It was like it had never been done before.
Cartwheeling and picking up guns. Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. That is
yeah,
a
but-
cool shot though.
I'll
Pops
give
out
it
of the
that. But missing at that range, unforgivable. What the hell was he doing?
he's just laying down some serious suppressive fire there. Safe in the knowledge that Shockwave has actually breached.
Yep.
And he's in, and then this, because isn't the whole thing, isn't it called Decisions? Yeah, it is. So, yeah, it all comes down to a decision. And
I have a question. I have two questions, and they both involve our main man, the man of the household. I'm blanking on his name. Where will it come up?
The dad.
The dad. What's he called? Mr. Bronsky. Let's just go with
Okay.
that. So, Mr. Bronsky, why does he pick up the water pistol or the super soaker? Why is he wielding it like a gun? Like, he knows that it's a water pistol. The terrorists know that it's a water pistol. Is he making himself look like a target to the breaching GI Joe team?
Yeah, why would he do that?
Has he been forced to at gunpoint? Because that's not made clear. I mean, the writing of this book leans very heavily to try and fool you.
Yeah.
They're not making it ambiguous. They're making it as they're making it so that when the realization comes that you've had it wrong the whole time, that we all kind of had the wool pulled over our eyes. But it's a bit heavy-handed at this point. So I'm like, no, he wouldn't do that.
Yeah, and it turns out, isn't he some like insane sniper?
He is, and this is my other question involving Mr. Bronsky and an M16, because what FBI dude in the world would surrender his firearm to this civilian? Like, you have no idea if he's actually got any credentials, any ability with that gun. You're just going to hand it to him?
Give me
Like,
that rifle.
Make him do a murder? Like, what?
Is this scope zeroed at 200 meters?
I mean,
Yeah.
it does beg a belief that they just let him take the shot. Because, yes, the final terrorist is making off with his son to a plane that's just landed in the field nearby. And he's like, I can take this shot. Give me your gun. Okay, sir. I guess I'll take you at your word.
I like the last panel and
Yeah.
how our
Quick wrap up.
yeah, but I just love our special missions force there standing there together. They're a good team. Lady J
Yeah.
looking a bit more Lady J. Yeah, it's cool, man.
Because special missions are one shots, it allows Larry and the artist to do a sort of a final snapshot. Hey?
Yes.
Because I think we recall, like, in issue 20, Snowblind, you had that lovely shot of, like, the October Guard and Frostbite and the boys. Like, also kind of just a postcard of, like, the victorious dudes. In the background, we've got the pilot from the getaway plane being led away in cuffs. That's sort of shuffled off into the background. But you've got a family, like, celebrating, like, the relief of, like, this situation being resolved without any of them being killed.
Yeah.
And G.I. Joe looking on.
Does it in the setup, why have G.I. Joe been called in? Is there they're just there?
Good question. I think it might be explained on panel. I'll do a quick skim, see if I can.
I just
come
feel
up with
like
it. It's a bit
what
random.
I mean
yeah.
is are they doing a lot of this? Like,
Just
I don't know.
outsourcing.
Yeah, exactly. They just happen to be there. But yeah. Well, I had a thoroughly good time with this issue. I'm really enjoying special missions. I haven't read them all. I've probably only read like 5 or 6 of them. So it's just a nice tonic to ARA, isn't it? Just to hop off and have a little vignette, like a little skirmish. Yeah, I enjoy it.
Well, it absolutely was the function of special missions to do that. I'm so glad we had this second title.
Yeah.
Not necessarily to show up the other book, but yes, to break up the heavy-handed continuity. Every special missions book is such a great jumping on point for a G.I. Joe fan. And I'm grateful that, like, my reception of G.I. Joe comic books did alternate. Like, I had a mess of regular issues all over the place, and then a handful of special missions that I could kind of... They were easy pickups. Like, every time I had a car trip that wasn't too long, I'd sit in the back with an issue of special missions. They tended to really shine there. I don't think I went for main run issues.
It was a good chance. It was a good chance to see a B player or a C player of a fig that you really love that doesn't necessarily mean anything in the wider Joe kind of universe, you know? It's like,
and if you came to the
being
game a little bit
represented.
late, like yourself and most definitely me, and like all you had were the 88 and onwards kind of cast, Special Missions was absolutely just reminding you that, yes, your toys do get featured every once in every while.
Yes. That was
So
a
necessary.
huge part of my enjoyment out of the comics was the synergy of whenever you had an issue and you had like 80% of the figures in that issue, it was great because you could either reenact it or it was just, it was just nice to see them on the page. So often you'd be like, these are, I'm never going to get Snake Eyes version 1 or, And there's just something about special missions. Yeah, it feels like I have lots of these in fig form. When did it and why did it end? They stopped at issue 28. What year did that take them to? Because
Gonna say 1989 once again.
yeah, I wondered, do you think it didn't sell well, or after 28 issues they thought they'd just done enough of that?
I think it was shrinking sales, surely.
Yeah, it just didn't warrant having 2 titles, I suppose.
Yeah, to support two titles. Yeah, I think the main book. I mean, Special Mission started on the lofty highs of when this book was at its absolute sales.
Yeah. And you never know, dude. They probably sat down in a room and were like, look, things like X-Men have got 4, 5 titles. Like, is there room
Spider-Man's got a few.
You know, they were trying to really build it and like, look, maybe we could have 3 titles, or turns out it couldn't even support 2, but
Look, no, they did the reprints of the early stuff. So for a time in the later 80s, you had GI Joe, Real American Hero, you had Special Missions, and you had Tales of GI Joe, which started from issue 1, and I think went 15 issues. I've certainly got to issue 15, which is Red Eye to Miami. Love that issue. Looking forward to speaking about it on Chasing Joe.
I'm just trying to think of that one. That's ringing bells.
It's a trio. It's entirely focused. I mean, I think there are 2 pages devoted on the ongoing story, but for the rest of the time, you're entirely focused on Quinn, Snake Eyes, and Dr. Venom. And it is so well scripted. Boy, oh boy,
Nice.
I hung on every word. And there are only 2 characters talking, but Snake Eyes absolutely has a role to play. Because in those heady early days, he was such an ambiguous character, or ambivalent. You couldn't quite... Like, is he a Joe? He's spending a lot of time with this mercenary Eskimo. And Dr. Venom, for that matter. He's got his side quest. He's like separate to the team, almost.
I know. Yeah, every IP has their Snake Eyes, and very few tend to not ruin them. And you know, like Boba Fett is a perfect example. Like how much cooler would that character be if we knew nothing more than the Return of the Jedi? We'd still be talking about it now. Now we know everything. We know everything.
So hard, Ben, to hit erase on everything Star Wars that has come out since the between period. Like, I loved
speculating.
We got some answers in the form of the Bantam books, in the video games and graphic novels, the Dark Horse comic books. But like, as soon as we got into episode 1 and we started getting like official canonical answers from Lucasfilm, nah, overcooked it. We're living in a bad run of Star Wars now.
Yeah,
they flogged it, man. They flogged that horse.
Yeah, I think it's done, man. I think it's done, but I have the ability to just enjoy the OG trilogy. I'm fine with that. I can do that.
And also, the nostalgia of that speculative time where you made up your own answers. So good. Now I can't forget. Good. I can't forget things like Book of Boba Fett. Oh boy.
I know, but you certainly don't want a Book of Snake Eyes either. I mean, yeah. I struggle a little bit with A-Rod. Like, when I was a kid, Snake Eyes was everything. He's the cool character. He's a ninja. He's badass. You're playing with him constantly. You're obsessed with him. He's your favorite fig. He's your favorite Joe. I don't feel like that now at all. And
when was the last time you held a Snake Eyes action figure, though?
Oh, a couple of hours ago.
The Allure? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, buddy. Surely you can't deny the allure of the figure itself.
No. The figure itself is fantastic, but when I'm rereading these books, I'm just saying that it's so interesting to look at, like, okay, here's all the characters. This one is kind of rising up. Let's double down on him. And I just wonder if we joke about the Snake Eyes soap opera and stuff. Maybe he dominated probably a little too much towards the end, and it just gets a little bit exhausting.
One of the earliest books we've covered on Chasing Joe had a letters page, and I wish I could recall which one it was, but the upshot of it was an overwhelming amount of mail crying out for Snake Eyes' story. They wanted...
This was an early issue. Yeah.
an early issue, and Snake Eyes' popularity was assured even at that point.
Yeah.
Even without all the extra exposure, even without his second version, even without putting a sword in his hand and a wolf at his side, he had this mystique that people just gravitated towards. So it's baked in, man. Like, it always was there. It was always going to be a breakout character. Now
Yeah.
we're living in a world where it's too overexposed. But
He has a motion picture.
every time I hold that
dude.
figure,
Yeah.
it's a good time.
It's unbelievable that he's got a film. I've never seen it. Yeah.
I think you could do without it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a middling action movie. It bears a passing resemblance to GI Joe, like in name only. It's not. It's bizarre. It's bizarre that something like that even exists.
It is bizarre because I don't know how it gets greenlit. I don't know how, like, the bean counters do the maths and are like, this is going to make money. This is going to cross over and regular folk are going to go and see this, which is what you need for a film to sort of make money. You know, it needs to break out of its core fan base, doesn't it?
Come on,
there's not
Ben.
enough of us.
But use your imagination, like, because producers certainly don't. The boardroom clearly decided, okay, we need to do GI Joe. We've got this IP. It's not doing anything at the moment. It's not earning us any box office. We've done 2 team movies. Let's focus on our most popular character. Let's do something different. Let's do the Bumblebee of GI Joe, because we all know how well that did for Transformers. Ha ha.
Nice little film.
That was a lovely film. Much better than the Snake Eyes movie.
Great reviews. Good Rotten Tomatoes score. No one saw it. It didn't have Transformers in the title, for God's sake.
No, it did not. But neither did Snake Eyes. Anyways, like, that was the conversation, pure and simple. Spit us out a movie that showcases Snake Eyes. Cast some absolutely up-and-coming, like, Hollywood golden boy in the lead. Ironically, for a character that shouldn't speak or have his face visible. I mean, hilarious
Look.
decisions were made.
Why, when they were sat around the studio, I should have been there and I'd have been like, guys, have you read Special Missions issue 22? Let's make that! Just as it is here as well, with the colours.
I would be very surprised if anyone from that room had waded into G.I. Joe any deeper than, like, the first cartoon miniseries.
Yeah.
That's their understanding of what G.I. Joe is.
Yeah. Damn those corporate overlords. This would make a lovely cartoon, though.
If they made a live-action Mass Device, I would be thrilled. Just
Dude,
do that.
Talk to me about your... What about animation?
Okay.
Like, He-Man was that quite big on Netflix? I think, have they done a Thundercats? Are they doing a Thundercats? What's going on with Joe?
Thundercats had a animated series which was quite good, I think, back in 2011. So it's ancient history now.
Transformers, we disagree on the Transformers one. You thought it was boring.
Cybertron.
You said it was boring. You said it was too much walking and too much talking. That's just what I want.
Sure. Yeah.
I have to say, though, it did not finish strong, man. Oh, my God. The third
For a
series.
That's where I jumped back in, man. I was like,
Oh,
yes, please.
jeez. I couldn't make it through it. I couldn't make it through.
Oh, for shame. Benjamin.
Oh, series 1 started off so good. It was so dark and depressing, and I felt their plight. I'm going to watch that again.
Megatron. Lovely.
Fantastic. He's sat there. He's got Ultra Magnus's head on his desk. Whoa. Spoilers. Sorry. But what I'm trying to say is someone in this damn room? Who is that? Oh, what's up,
It's a grown man.
It's a massive 14-year-old. What are the chances of getting a really good G.I. Joe animated show?
Oh, 20%. I'm going to say.
But they're shifting poise, aren't they? They're shifting classified. That usually starts,
Conversation.
they're like,
Well, they need to do a multi-pronged approach, but will they have only gotten... Is it too little too late? Is classified reaching its peak and it's only going to tumble down?
it's
from
very
there?
expensive to make a TV show, in fairness.
And very expensive to make a video game. But there was talk of a Snake Eyes focused sandbox-ish GI Joe game, AAA title. But that's a long shot.
AAA.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how likely that is. It's still there's all this talk, but and
There's so
been
much
interviews and talking about like the designers like key influences when it comes to GI Joe.
Yeah.
But-
I mean, I would love an open world Joe game. That would just be incredible. It is never going to happen. It's just not happening.
Boo. Look,
Yeah.
I played the first few levels of the GI Joe game from I think 3 or 4 years ago, Operation Blackout. It was thoroughly panned at the time, but next to the very middling beat 'em up Wrath of Cobra that's been released this year, I've relooked at that Operation Blackout and it ain't so bad. I mean,
Okay.
you get to run around the USS Flag and check out Sky Strikers and Parked Persuaders. Like,
Love
they've got
that.
some cool little visual treats, and it's it's not open world; it's a semi-linear game, but you do get to explore these environments, like the Arashikage Temple, various cool places. Like there's a snowbound mission. You'd love that.
Look, dude, I know that I'm not going to get a game. I just want the skins, the avatars in Fortnite. I'll take that. I'll pay with my V-Bucks.
I want
For-
the vehicles, Ben. I want.
Oh, you're not going to get that.
I want.
Hey, I'm just going to go back into
Jump
the
in a
deep
dragonfly.
recesses of my brain, and I remember watching a Joburg video, and you are like, it's like you're playtesting something, and it was like an open world Joe game, and you were like, what is this? And you were in vehicles. Was it all mods or something? What was that? You got into like an
Oh,
Ore
shit, yeah.
Striker,
Armor 3.
and I was like, what is this?
There's some GI Joe mods for the Armor 3.
Okay, so it was all mods and
Open world.
stuff, but that looked pretty amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that is
should
going
touch bases
back.
with old Scott G, who designs all those things. I mean, he's a family man, but he does it all as a labor of love. Boy, it must take him a long time. All
Yeah.
those vehicles, all that equipment. Yeah.
Dude, I'm
okay.
sure.
I'll put a
there-
link in the description below to that video. We should do a follow-up or 3.
Yeah, that's a deep cut on that video.
well done,
Jeez.
Ben.
I went for my 365th run of the year today. Went down the beach. I was running down the coast, and I was like, I'll just put on some Joburg to listen to.
Hey.
And I couldn't help but laugh. I was laughing at you at the end when you're talking about the new Skybound Joe book. And you're like, Baroness, I don't get it. I just don't, what is she, like, what's going on? Like, I just
True
don't
story,
get
man.
Baroness.
But are you
Oh.
reading the current Skybound?
No, I
Read
went
all-
into Frog Brothers, which is my local comic shop, and I actually took it off. I struck it off, so I didn't even touch issue 1. I read the preview in whatever ARA issue that was in, and it's more the style, the art, everything about it. It's just not for me, and that is absolutely fine. I'm okay with this new ARA. I'm right back in now. It's colourful, it's loud,
Beautiful.
it's good art.
Maybe that's-
Mooneyham, is it?
Mooneyham, yeah. He's
Yeah,
back
I don't
on
know how
art tours.
long. I don't know how long he will stay. I think there's a guest artist coming up, and I always love that because that's just interesting.
I think you put your finger on it, man. Because on the main show, the flagship, whatever you want to call it, on GI Joburg, we spoke about it, as you know, and I don't think I once touched on the fact that the art it's a different look to what we're used to as GI Joe fans. We're used to a far more house style, far more kind of like less flashy, less stylized.
It's very modern.
It's very modern. It's very Skybound. It's in the same wheelhouse of like Invincible.
It is very Skybound, but I'm only just figuring out what that is. But they all share that look. It feels like it has an air of, I don't know. I mean, obviously it's made in a computer.
Like it's trendy.
Yes, they're
it's not
trying.
timeless.
They're trying to make it edgy. It just doesn't make my brain go places, I suppose. Whereas A-Ra, even the new A-Ra, I'm going down memory lane, and I'm enjoying that. Oh, this is the same guy, the same dude. It's connected. I don't know. It's going to be
guy that did this book. My goodness.
Yeah. Is it doing well?
I couldn't give you facts and figures, my friend.
No. Well, it's just that I know that the whole world buys issue ones. Well, not the whole world, but lots of people buy issue ones of anything and everything. So they're always quite big. And then the drop off can just be seismic, you know?
We'll always have G.I. Joe Special Missions issue 22 where my boy Suckwave, he's looking great. Even the detail of his boot soles.
Yeah, he's got ropes, he's got both his pistols strapped to his thigh, the big old silencer. He's going up that drain pipe. I mean, I say
he stole Hit and Run's shtick, because Hit and Run's the mountaineer who comes with the rope.
Dude, he looks great there, doesn't he, though? Hit and Run.
Yeah.
He looks so cool, man, in that white.
Yeah, it's true. Badasses. And as a result of this book, I think I've always made Shockwave and Hit and Run a duo.
He's anchored. He's got both ropes. I could not climb up the side of my house. I mean, if I jumped on my drain pipe, I would bring it all down. So I would have to sort of, I'd stand outside my house, I'd look at it, and I'd be like, right, Rainbow Six, how do I get in?
They'd build them strong in Iowa. Damn.
I mean, you're going to hear them boots on the side of that wooden house.
Yeah. Unless you Shockwave, baby. His name's almost a misnomer.
When I was prepping for the show, I couldn't find his weapons in time. And I was thinking, I was like, crikey, he comes with a little knife, doesn't he? And does the knife slot into his rucker?
It's a big knife, Ben.
It's big, yeah. It's got a serrated edge.
Oh, yeah. It seems modeled after, like, Rambo's
It's got
knife.
such a wiry, arm sling for his gun. It's so wiry. That must go for people. I think mine's okay, but it's pretty bendy.
Mine broke on the stock and the silencer before I eventually lost it. Yeah.
Oh, no. His pistol's quite chunky. That's good. That's a good... And everything's blue as well.
It's problematic in that because the pistol grip is so broad.
Yes.
He's always going to be holding it gangster style.
Yeah, it's always gangster style. I love that.
Yo.
Oh, man. I got such good memories of this little guy. He was, for me, he was one of my absolute fave figs, as well as you.
I had pulled out pretty much all my vintage figs back in Cape Town, and my brother, when he got into town, he saw the amassed pile of figures, and he went for the same ones. He went for Storm Shadow version 1 and 2. You can't deny the allure of a ninja dressed in white. And he went for Shockwave. Him picking Shockwave out of my toy box back when I was a wee lad was probably the first time a real spotlight fell on that figure. When your older brother says to you, this guy, this is the coolest guy.
We've had very similar...
Yeah, there you go.
Because he was in the toy shop and he was like, Ben, look at this dude, he's SWAT.
You're not leaving without this guy.
He's like, that is a SWAT guy. You need him.
So freaking cool.
Yeah, there's just a coolness and a seriousness to him. Well, look, there we go. I think we have thoroughly chatted about issue 22 of Special Missions. Go and read it, guys. Go and read it. We will be back next week, probably back on ARAB. I'll be back looking out for the postman. You can find me over on Instagram, BenFlyingRetro. And now we're out of the silly season. I'll be back to doing all my fun clip outs and all the behind the scenes of Chasing Joe. So how long have we been going? We've got 2025. We've got a full year of Chasing Joe coming. When did we start? September? Don't know.
Something like that.
Yeah. Jeez. What a show. Okay, buddy. Well, where can people find you, my good man?
GI Joburg, do all the things. If you like what you see or hear, give us a follow, give us a like. Like this video. Hey, couldn't help. I mean, couldn't hurt. That one. Instagram on GI Joburg, Twitter, X, if anyone still goes there. And if you want to write an email, we love them. We'll read them out on the show. Or include a voice.
I adore the comments as well. So thanks to anyone that makes a comment. I love that. And I try and reply. Love all that. Also, feel free to contact me on Instagram as well.
And if you'd like to include an MP3 to be played on the show, that's getting racy. Email it to a real South African hero at gmail.com. I'll include that in the description. Yeah. How do you feel about hearing listeners' comments live?
I want to hear that. Yes.
We do want to hear that.
Otherwise, I feel like I'm just shouting down a well.
Who's going to be the first to send us our first MP3?
Oh, geez, this is exciting. Are we looking for questions? Yeah.
Questions, comments,
sneezing. Dude, it's that South African air. Your body's rejecting it. Yeah.
Better get some antihistamines in me and thoroughly pass out.
Okay,
all right,
guys.
Until
next
everybody.
week. Yo,
Peace.
Joe.
Yo, Joe.